All right, so welcome to the long awaited and highly anticipated virtual budget planner. So first, let's have a look at the two classes within this program. We start with the expense class, which which I think of as the blueprint for individual expenses. It has two attributes like category and amount. Category is where the money was spent on, like groceries and rent, and the amount is simply how much was spent on groceries or rent, right? It's important to note that this class has a two string category, which is pretty important because is the features that allows the user to format an expense as a human readable thing. It's what will allow us to write groceries, um, rent, shopping, those categories in the output. Secondly, we have a look. Oh, sorry. Secondly, we have a look at the budget class, and this class is the workhorse class because not only does it manage the user financial data, it also performs calculation. And in this class, we have three different attributes. We have the income, which is the user's total monthly earning, the savings goal, which is how much they wish to save, and lastly, we have the expense list, which is an array list that will store all the user's expenses. And it's important to note as well that there are five different methods in this program. First, we have the add expense. Oh, I jumped it. Sorry. There we go, right here. So first we have the add expense method, which will add an expense to the list and also use an expense object to store the data while keeping it clean. And it's important to note that this method will dynamically grow as the user adds more expenses, right? So the price will just go up. Secondly, we have calculate total expenses. And in this method just loops through expenses and lists and sums up all the amount. It also ensures an accurate total of all the expenses entered so far. There we go right here. There's a return. And the return is to return to the main menu that I will show you later. Third, we have the calculate remaining balance. This is pretty straightforward as it will just subtract total expenses from the user's income, and this will give a real-time view of how much money is left to spend or to save. So this method will allow us to know whether or not we are under or over the saving goal. We also have the public display the sorry. We also have the display expenses method, and this method just iterates through the expenses and it will list and print each expenses in a formatted way. If the list is empty, it will inform the user that no expenses were recorded yet, as our print statement says right here. And lastly, we have the display summary method, and this method will combine all of the calculation into a snapshot, sorry, of the user's financial state. And that means that it will check if the user's remaining balance meets their saving goals, giving a clear yes or no answer, right? This is what all those sprint statements are for. And now let's have a look at how the program runs. So the program begins by asking the user their total income as well as their savings goals. Once provided, these values go into the budget object right here. This program enters a loop that repeatedly shows the user a menu of four options, right? We have Here's the budget planner. This is what the menu will look like, and this is the while loop. And here we have the four different options which within the print statements. So you have add an expense, view expenses, and then view the budget summary. We also have the exit option and the choose an option. So the the add an expense, the add an expense option, when the user chooses this, the program will ask for two input, which is the category and the amount that we've seen in the expense class. And these inputs are passed to the add expense method, which creates a new expense object and stores it in the expense list. The second option, the view expense, this option will retrieve all stored expenses from the expenses list and will print each one in a readable format by using the toString method in the expense class. If no expenses have been added, the program provides a helpful message like no expenses recorded yet, like that you're gonna see later. Third, we have the view budget summary. And this is where the program shines, in my opinion, because it provides a complete financial summary of by showing the total income as well as the total expenses. It will calculate and display the remaining balance, and it will also check if the saving goal has been met or not. And lastly, last but not least, we have the exit. And selecting this will simply end the loop, and the program will finish by with a friendly goodbye message that you're going to see. So here we have our print statements to add an expense, the category and the amount, which is the attributes in the expense class. And then we have the view expense, the view budget summary, and the exit, as you can see, with a case and break that we've learned. Oh, sorry. So now let's have a look at the how the program executes. So let's compile it. Continue. All right. So it's formatted correctly. Thank God. Let's run it and run. All right. Let's run it back. So enter the monthly income. Let's say my monthly income is $3,000, and my saving goals is $1,000 out of that. All right. So here I am in the budget planner menu. As you can see, I'm going to add a couple expenses. Let's add rent for 1,200. Let's add another expense. Actually, no. Let me show you this. No, let's add another expense first. Let's add another expense. I will choose groceries for $200, and I'm going to add another one because I have a bit of a shopping addiction. Let's add shopping for $200 again. And now this is my favorite part. It's the budget summary. All right. So now just scroll back up a little bit. So as you can see, it prints my total income, how much I've spent, and my remaining balance. So I'm $400 over, and this is how the program runs, right? So now let's exit, and there we go. This is how the program ends.